All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, fellow Pandemonium travelers, this is Seattle Pandemonium Shutdown Day 331 by my count. So what's going on? What's going down? Well, the WallStreetBets debacle rolls on. It's still hilarious when I think about it. I mean, sorry to people who had who are going to lose money in their hedge funds, because those things are going to have to pay out ridiculous amounts of money to a bunch of internet dorks. But yeah, that's the game. That's the rules. They can try to change them on the fly all they want. Just makes them look worse. And yeah, so that's just ongoing. Still funny when I think about it. They're trying to say that there's a, what do they call it, a squeeze. There we go. There's the term everybody knows, because now everybody's the Wolf of Wall Street. People are artificially inflating the price of silver by buying a bunch of silver. That may or may not be the case. I heard a take that was like, no, people have been told to buy precious metals for years and years now, especially like older, more conservative audiences. Bill Devane, I think, was the guy pushing silver. Buy silver, silver, silver. And it's like, it's just a natural thing that's happening. Plus there's volatility in the market, plus the pandemic, plus all the, people have been buying precious metals for a long time. But I don't really know that much about all of that stuff. There's just so many ins and outs, and there's just maybe hourly things that seem to be, developments with that whole story. Anyways, the other stupidity that's happening, and I want to try to articulate this as well as I can, considering how weird and stupid it is. It's dumb. It's so dumb. This whole thing is idiotic. So if you remember, way back in January, the 6th of January, when the country was taken over by Q Shaman, and then we've dwelled in darkness ever since under his despotic regime. You remember the guys went into the rotunda. I almost said vestibule. What is a vestibule? Isn't a vestibule like a rotunda? I think a rotunda is like a big vestibule. I don't know. They went into the vestibule, rotunda, whatever, the main chamber of the House or whatever. Was it the Senate? See, I don't even remember now. I guess it was Pelosi, Speaker of the... I get it. They went in, smoked some joints, took some selfies, and now they're probably all going to go to prison for a long, long time. Because that was a dumb thing to do. The one gal was shot by Capitol Police. They will probably not be facing any real consequences for that, even though it didn't seem particularly necessary at the time, but hey, this is how the cookie crumbles, right? And then a police officer died, and my understanding is, I could be incorrect, I'm pretty sure what happened is he sustained some injuries in a scuffle with protesters, and then the next day succumbed to some kind of a medical event that was unrelated to him being, or tangentially related. It's not like people are saying that they were beaten to death with a fire extinguisher. That's not what happened. The video of the cop getting hit with a fire extinguisher, that's a separate issue. That guy didn't die. But people are conflating the two because social media is warping everybody's sense of reality into whatever it is that they happen to remember that they saw as stuff was breaking, and then whatever context people add to it. And of course, there is no way, I've covered this before, there is no real definitive way for any one person or group to sufficiently fact check all of the things that are being put up on the internet. And companies and organizations will certainly spend a lot of money trying, though they're going to try, and they're going to have limited success, but they're going to keep trying. But here's the stupid thing, okay? You've got this Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, this AOC girl, doing something quite nefarious, in my opinion. So she went on her Instagram, because we live in hell, and did her Instagram live feed, stream thing, where she told her story of what happened in the Capitol that day, and how she she felt like she was going to be assaulted, and Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley called for her to be murdered, and all of this crazy stuff that's not. I mean, you can read the events and with the statements of different people and say, yeah, okay, I guess so, sorta, maybe, not really. Like, I can understand how they're getting there with they tried to get me killed. But that's not what happened, okay? Now, here's what the nefarious part of what she's doing is that she also said, well, this is also triggering because this is my understanding, 'cause I didn't watch her live stream, but I saw some clips and the gist of it, okay? She was saying that she was a victim of sexual assault sometime in the past, 'cause that's unfortunate, and that triggered her PTSD or, anxiety because of the stress of the people coming into the Capitol building that day. And so if you're denying that she was in danger, then you're denying that her pain and suffering from being a victim of sexual assault. So you can't criticize her making up stuff and fear-mongering about things that aren't true, that didn't happen. Or you're, I don't know, some kind of rape apologist is the insinuation there, is that you're denying the lived experience of somebody's pain. Shut up. Like, you are an adult, you are in our federal government, and you can't just go on your Instagram, well, you can, unfortunately, go on your Instagram to your hundreds of thousands, probably has millions of followers on IG, and make up fake stories saying that other congressmen tried to have you killed, that your life was in danger, a police officer came into the room and told them that they should go to a different place, and she's saying because that officer was a white man, she didn't feel safe, even as the Capitol Police are literally shooting other white people who are trying to storm the building. Like, this is not okay, right? Like, I'm not saying there's a consequence, but people need to be aware that this woman is doing this. And you know what's going to happen? The media's already done it. They're already sycophants and jumping on board with pushing this. We need to have an internet truth czar and all this social media czar that can, like, regulate lies and stuff on the internet. And her hysterics, and I'm going to say it, fake hysterics, are going to be used as a reason to enact this domestic terrorism Patriot Act that these people are pushing for. And what you're going to get is domestic surveillance. More of it. You're going to get more crackdowns on anybody. I don't know. I mean, honestly, like, leftists will get caught up in this too, because your forms of activism, like going out and breaking things, that'll be classified as domestic terrorism, and they're going to send the FBI after you and everything else. They'll start droning everybody. Instead of droning people overseas, they'll drone people right here in America. So I guess that's maybe progress of a sort. I don't know. Anyways, AOC is doing something that's rather pernicious. It's somewhat short-sighted in that it's ultimately going to cause a lot of harm to probably, like, some of her own constituents at some level. But also, it's obnoxious. It's emotionally manipulative. And ultimately that if they push through this, surveillance stuff, this domestic terrorism stuff that they're really pushing, and they can get it with their, Democrat majority in the House and the Senate. I mean, they can. And then they're going to come and shut down everything on the internet that's not deemed true by, I don't know, whomever, by some coalition of huge corporations and politicians who you probably wouldn't want managing an ant farm. And they're going to be deciding what is truth and lies on the internet, and you will be punished as a result of posting things that are not true, like jokes, for example. Jokes are distortions of reality that often exaggerate. That's what makes them funny. But they're also partially true, which is what makes them funny. So funny jokes, anyway, will be gone. hyperbole of any kind will be gone. Early reporting. Ha! Oh, you just got it wrong? Lies. You're banned from social media because the government said you said something untrue on the internet. You guys do not want this. I mean, you listeners. I mean, you libs. I mean, you couch fainters. You do not want this. This will make the internet an even uglier place. And partially, do you know why? It will force conformity of thought. And then we will be in a really dystopian situation. You won't have Alex Jones talking about chemicals in the water turning the friggin' frogs gay. Which is kind of true. He's sort of accurate. There were chemicals in the water that are causing the frogs to change their genders in unnatural ways. They can do it naturally. These chemicals, I forget the name of the chemical, causes it to happen. And so that's like in our water too. So is that doing something to us? I don't know. Probably not good for us. Maybe it doesn't have any effect at all. I don't know. But come on, construction bros. You're trying to, you know. I'm a light blue collar. I know what it's like, but you can't be walking in the street, guys. No, you want your Alex Jones out there saying crazy stuff. You want your David Icke talking about reptilians running the world. I don't care if it's not true. It's fun. If you believe everything Alex Jones says, then you're probably going to believe everything Alex or Anderson Cooper or Jake Tapper say, which is also stupid. They're lying to you too. The difference is Alex Jones is talking about like how the world is being controlled by these elites, and Jake Tapper is telling you that white supremacists ran a coup on our government, and it was the most dangerous thing to happen to our democracy since blah blah blah. Oops. At least since 9/11, and they're trying to push this date to like 1/6. 1/6. It's like 9/11. 1/6 was like 9/11 times 1,000. That's right, 911,000. Yeah. I'm trying to have this couch fainting moment. I'm trying to understand why I need to care so much about the Capitol attack, aside from the fact that people died. People died unnecessarily, but the majority of those, several of those deaths anyway, were just people having medical issues, and that's what happens when you get like 100,000 people together in one place. People get trampled, people get in fights, people have medical issues, they get out walking around, they're all excited, and then they forget to take their heart meds, and then Bob's your uncle, you now have a dead person. But it's not like the angry mob like tore people to shreds. It's just accidents and stuff happen. People climbing the walls for whatever reason, and they fell down trying to get into a building we allegedly own. I don't know. I'm trying to understand why I'm supposed to be very upset and, you know, capital V, capital U, very upset. And be on board with, you know, again, cracking down on libertarians. What was it, former head of the NSA? Was that John Brennan? I forget who all these guys are. Saying that libertarians were behind the attack on the Capitol. And it's like, I mean, I'm sure that I remember seeing some Gadsden flags there, but like, the libertarians want you to be more free. And they believe in the non-aggression principle. So, I don't know. So this is what I'm saying. There's this propagandist. There's propaganda being leveled at us, being fired at us from all sides all the time in order to distort your sense of reality. And they're putting chemicals in the water and turning the friggin' frogs gay. All right. I guess that's enough from me for Tuesday. Buy gold, buy guns.